Square Enix is a company that has fallen so low, and it hurts every time I have to talk about them because it never seems to be positive. They've put out some amazing games, but we've heard a lot of bad news about their internal ethics department lately. They're toning down scenes in games, changing character outfits, removing dialogue from games, but now with Final Fantasy XIV, they want to combat bad behavior by banning people doing things that could be seen as negative or toxic. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or supporting the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So, I wanted to start with the Sankaku Complex article. It says, fun no longer allowed in Final Fantasy XIV as bans possible for toxic behavior. This is a game that I actually only got into a couple of months ago. I live streamed my first week or two playing it because I had never really gotten into Final Fantasy XIV, even though I'm an MMO lover and I love Final Fantasy, and I've really been enjoying the game. I've paid for a subscription since, I've been playing it, I've been very dedicated and put a lot of time into the game, and it's very unfortunate to hear about situations like this because while Square Enix has fallen, they do have some games and of course franchises like Final Fantasy that I and many other people love and adore, and I try to give them chance after chance after chance, but it's things like this that make me not want to support the company. It says, no doubt as a consequence of Final Fantasy XIV's growing Western player base, the producer, Naoki Yoshida, has seemingly sought to cater to the sensitive snowflakes in the West by promising suspensions and bans for players exhibiting toxic behavior in PvP, such as spamming taunt/quick chat phases, using slanderous language, and repeatedly using an emote on top of a downed opponent. Now, when it comes to multiplayer games, there's one thing that companies need to realize finally, because over the years, they used to understand that people shit talk, okay? People go into games, they get very competitive, they kind of go after each other a little bit. But that is what mutes and block buttons are for. If you do not like someone and you do not like the things that they're saying to you or that they're doing, just block them and you never have to talk to them again. You never have to hear them. You never have to see their chats again. You can just ignore them because at the end of the day, this is a video game. You are just online. You can ignore players if you want to. Yes, in one PvP match, there might be someone annoying you. You just block them and then you'll probably never end up seeing them again as long as you're not grouped with them. It's like people don't understand this, and it's like companies don't understand the features that they already have in their games, which is disappointing. It says Yoshida went into detail about this so-called toxic behavior in a news post on the official Final Fantasy XIV website and warned that those who continue to violate the rules could be subjected to either a suspension or ban, with such a crackdown on harmless behavior seeming eerily similar to that of the slowly dying World of Warcraft. I understand that they want to keep their community positive and they want to keep everyone around happy and they don't want anyone to be upset, but it's just trash talking. It's just people interacting. I understand that sometimes it can get out of hand. Totally, completely. Maybe someone should be suspended at the end of the day if they're using slanderous language, if they're insulting people, but banning is the thing that I take issue with. Primarily, because there are people that put hundreds and thousands of hours and hundreds and thousands of dollars into this game and most games now. And it's just sad to know, oh, I could do something that could trigger someone and then my account, all of that hard work goes down the drain and my account could be permanently banned. It says, "Hello, this is the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. I would like to thank you all for your interest in the new PvP content. However, we are receiving an unprecedented number of reports concerning uncooperative/lethargic or taunting behavior during matches. Thus, I'd like to warn against such behaviors by reviewing the main types of prohibited behaviors." That is like if 343 came out and said you cannot teabag in Halo anymore. That is such an iconic part of Halo, and it helped Halo get so popular over the years. I mean, when you think of Halo, if you say teabagging, most people that are in the gaming industry are gonna know what you're talking about. There's so many memes about it now. It happens in most games, but something like teabagging someone, like their death box, their corpse in the game, whatever, could get you banned because that could be seen as taunting, which is absurd. Of course, it goes through all of the things I already talked about, repeatedly using quick chat phrase, "nice job," or "good match." It's basically just if you spam something and someone gets triggered by it, you could get banned, which is a giant problem. But this isn't really new with Square Enix. They're trying to make their games appeal to what they think are Western modern audiences. Basically, people that are sensitive snowflakes. We've seen them tone down character models, change dialogue in games. I mean, even remove terms like woman and female for gender neutral terms. This is something that Square Enix has done a lot over the years, and especially the past couple of weeks. I've made several videos on Square Enix, and unfortunately, this is just another negative one. This article is from 2019, but this was the first time we heard about the Square Enix ethics department. Basically, they went into the Final Fantasy VII remake and toned down female character models, especially Tifa's. They changed her outfit around, they shrunk her breasts, they tried to make her a little more toned down for modern audiences. This is a newer situation. The Square Enix recruitment page boasts about ethics department censorship. We do not want to support censorship. We do not want to support an ethics department. Ever since we started hearing about this ethics department, we've all been looking at Square Enix games, and we are visibly seeing all of these changes that they're making, and nobody likes them. There's also this Chrono Cross Remaster changes more dialogue, removes speech quirk. They basically did the worst job possible, and this game also has performance problems. It runs worse than the PlayStation 1 version of the game, but unfortunately they removed character quirks, they changed dialogue, they made the words in the terms female and woman more gender neutral in the English translation. I mean, their games have been a mess lately. Again, I've been loving Final Fantasy XIV, but it's disappointing to see them be so out of touch with their audience. Again, there are people that are sensitive, there are people that don't like being taunted in PvP matches, but that's why features like the block button exist, and these people need to learn to use it, and companies need to learn to have a backbone and say, it's only one PvP match, block them and move on. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.